Hello again, it's me. I wanted to do a contacts put in video, how to. I don't know if I can do it in this kind of environment. My dad has, he makes his own makeup mirrors, and he'll put them up with like these really high powered fluorescent lights, like kind of like what you see those smaller models that you can buy off of Amazon with. I could get one of those, but honestly, I don't have enough room in here. I'm going to try the Elizabeth Taylor purple lenses. They're not called that. They're called Magic Coral Violet. But the coral contacts from BB Lens have been really impressive so far. And not too, like, I mean, they're a little bit vampiric looking. But I'll just call them vampire contacts when they are way too much, you know. But let's go ahead and give this a go. I have a hand mirror, but now that I say that, that's dumb. Usually what I do is I make sure both my hands are dry, and I make sure my fingers dry. So there's some fluid on this. You have to kind of move quick once you get them out. You can pinch them like this to set it on your finger, or use the tweezers. The more I do this, the less I want to use the tweezers though. And then, oh gosh, there's lint on it. Okay. So if you see any lint or whatever, see, that's the thing. The more you mess with them, the harder it gets. The tweezers are kind of cool because they keep the water level down, because you can pick them up with the tweezers, shake them quickly. Skin, when you use skin to pick up a contact, meaning your fingers, it absorbs a little water, and it also introduces more lint into the case. So, but I was going to show just how to do this just with the fingers if I can. I think there's a ton of liquid in this, and that's why it's not. So I just scoop it out with that, and with my pointer finger. This is hard to do, man. I've seen some videos on like how to wring it out, you know, since it is on the finger. Yeah, I think I prefer the tweezers. So I'm going to keep my hands wet just to look at how much lint I've introduced. You can flick your fingers too, because lint is everywhere. Do not realize it until you do this, how much lint is. There's lint right there too. All right, let's try. I open up like this. They say to go around like this, but when I do that, I tend to tilt too much. So make sure, again, these fingers are dry. Open up like this, and then the bells, which is what closes your eye and protects it, you have to learn how to counteract that. So you keep the eye open, until you're touching it with the lens, and then you're just going to caress the lens across. I just roll my finger across. See how I do that? And then usually it pops in. That's how I do it. I go from the side here to and up. A lot of people, they'll look this way. I can't do it like that. I've got to see it, which sucks because it makes it so much harder to put them in. But the bells, I think of myself as watching a scary movie. And you know that moment where your eyes refuse to close? They're just like, that's what I do. In fact, when I first was learning how to put them in, I'd go with my mouth to make my eyes open, and it worked. And I would also go like this to kind of open my mouth. When I open my mouth, the bell's response turned off. So funny, because I always think of the bell jar. Ooh, this is a squirty one. I don't know how else to say that. There is some lint that just fell in there. I think because I'm in my room, the cats are always here. So it is best in a bathroom to start with. If you're kind of just trying out beginners, you don't want lint in there. Lint is the worst because your eye will start to, it almost feels like it's foaming up to try to dispel the lint. So that's a nasty way to say that, but whatever. Again, I'm going to make sure my finger's dry just by blotting it. If lint gets on the outside of the contact, it's not that big of a deal. What you want to watch is that it's not on the inside. And again, see how I'm going from an angle up? And bells. See how I slid it? And yes, I am touching my eyeball. You're going to feel yourself touching your eyeball. Now this one's a little bit worse, so I'm going to look up, look down, look up, look down, side to side. Feel if it's inside out. The way you can feel if it's inside out is it will start to, you blink and it will go up with your eyelash. So you blink and it goes up. Let's go ahead and use some of the fluid from the case in the eye. Only do this if your hands are really clean, by the way. Sometimes it could be that the eye's a little irritated. Where you feel the actual, let's see, the hurt, I would say, is not the eye. If you open up your eye, you don't actually feel any of the pain really in the eye. You feel it on the gum line. Now, another thing you can do, don't push into the eye, but cover the eye so that you're not bearing down, winking. I'm glad this happened because this is sometimes you do have to pop it out, start again, but pop it out, it's so funny. Use that term with the eyeballs, pop it out. Sometimes if you keep the eyes really open, or you're like, I notice if I'm concentrating on tasks that are like really take a lot of like eyeball looking, I call it, you don't realize until you put contacts in how little you blink when you start to concentrate. So like a cycle where I'm on my phone or I'm on the computer and I'm moving things around, my eyes don't blink that much, and so they can get very irritated. But then again, it is just the fact that they're not quite, it feels like diagnose it in a second, you know, don't immediately pop it out and go, okay, I need to start all over again. It could just be that the eye is trying to, you know, assimilate what you just put in it. So contacts are for everyone different. By the way, this is how I get tangles out. I go through my hair in the morning just like this before I comb it. A lot of people hair down, comb, you will break all of your hair. Take it out in sections and just kind of go like this with your fingers and pull it out and relax it. Hair needs to be relaxed. When it's up, it's the scalp and everything, it starts to put oil in the sections and it will hold. And so you want to get those to relax. I'm going to pin it up like this. My favorite way to do my hair right now is this. Just up like that. And yeah, let's get to talking about some hurricane stuff, because I know up in Tennessee there's a dam that's supposed to like not hold for much longer, but I think it broke, because the last thing I saw of that area was it didn't look like it was there anymore. And it's just so shocking to me, like they weren't ready at all. Like there's not being ready and then there's not being ready, you know. I'm gonna use a little more liquid here. There's not being ready and then there's not being ready. So I mean, it's just unfortunate that, you know, given time to prepare, you think, okay, well, we had time to prepare with the hurricane and everything. It still doesn't matter. And that's something that I wanted to talk about. It's like, I figure you can take measures and prevent certain things from happening. But now I see that it's also a matter of prediction. Like how bad is it going to be? Or maybe just assume the worst. Assuming the worst takes more effort, of course. Or maybe with the dam, there's nothing that can be done. You know, they just have to see if it'll hold. I know in Louisiana, there was this conspiracy that the dams were let go of. They were discharged and opened. And for the reason they felt the town was so full of voodoo. This is from the air, by the way, the ocean air. I can tell there's a lot of garbage in the air. In fact, most of my stuff I'm going to do today involves me getting away from the ocean, which is good. I was going to go more towards the city today. By the way, I love the True Match. True Match, True Match. Can't live without it. But yeah, structurally, everything, the integrity of stuff, that's something I was thinking about. So, but yeah, Louisiana, I don't know if that's true or not, the conspiracy about the voodoo, them wanting to cleanse the town. If that's true, that is massively messed up, but there's a lot of voodoo there. There's a lot of ghost stuff, but you know, that's Louisiana for you. Why don't you just move? If you hate something so much, you know, let it be. You know, every town has its own flavor, has its own you know, way of dealing with things, traumas, future, everything. If it's voodoo and card reading, then there it is. You know, that's hand in hand with like gambling, chance taking. How is, you know, gambling not a form of like witchcraft or something? You know, it's like you want to really get into it. By the way, this Midnight Courier, I need to find where I bought this from. I think I got it off of Amazon, but like, I mean, like the actual label. This stuff is great. Like, I used this the other day. I just spritzed a little bit on myself, and I got so many compliments. A lot of people thought it was like a really high-scale perfume. And I'm like, it is not. It is not. So, let's do Gryffindor. Kind of a more natural-looking palette. Thanks for hanging in with me. If you're still here after all that eye stuff. As you can see, the contact lens is starting to be fine. It's just, you know, sometimes you just gotta leave it in, let your eye know, like, you mean business. Like, you need to cleanse yourself, you know. There's only so many times I'm going to take it out, put it back in. Sometimes the eye will kind of adjust itself. So give it a chance. If it's still hurting a few, you know, like, say in an hour, if it's getting extra watery and stuff, take it out, put it back in. Because it could be that you need to flip the lens around. Some lenses, you can't tell if they're popped up or not on the inside. Like if they're really soft, it's not going to be like a perfect curve, and an outside, it'll look like a little outside that, you know, turn it inside out, see what's going on. It's holding pretty well. I think my eye is just super irritated, honestly. All the particles, dust in the air. So, but yeah, we're going to leave it in for right now. What was I saying? So yeah, Louisiana, all that crap. Learning about the conspiracy theories and everything. I mean, who knows? It's up in the air. Far as Florida is concerned, there is another system that's coming up. It's showing a low and then a high, and there's not enough of a cold front. Usually by now we would see a cold front appearing on towards the north and pushing down. So the cold fronts kind of, I guess if you're this way, they come down like this and they push away. So we're not getting that effect. So everything that's coming up from Cancun and all those other areas aren't being pushed down. They're not being kept in that area. It's good for some people, bad for others, you know. But yeah, I mean, we'll see what Mother Nature wants to do. As far as preparation is concerned, I've been looking up different things like food items and things. Always make sure you have peanut butter and jelly. I was watching some people that were like long-time survivors of the hurricane, and their favorite thing is peanut butter and jelly. And it's true. Beef jerky, peanut butter and jelly. Very dehydrating foods, so you need to have a lot of water around. However, they will last weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. And get yourself, this is something that I never thought of, but an electric burner that is battery charged. They have ones that you can plug in. They run on a battery. If you're afraid of batteries, you burn it outside, but you can turn it on. You charge it up before the hurricane hits, turn it on, and then at least that way you can have some soup. It heats soup up in like 1 to 2 minutes. So, yeah, but that's it. I mean, it still feels kind of weird today. I can tell people are shuffling around, cleaning up. Not so much in my area, but you feel it. You feel like you can hear people moving around or driving their cars and stuff. I'm going to turn the light off because my eye. It's a nice daytime look too. If you're looking 14 minutes. Okay. I'm going to say one more thing. When you're in the shower and you have contacts in, the water, now saline water is very soft. So when you put it in the eye, the contact lens is going to move around. But when you're in the shower, the water will get in your eye and it will get where your lid is, and it will actually kind of adhese the lens. So the lenses will pop up. So when you're in the shower, just make sure you're not splashing your face with too much water that's getting in your eye. Make sure your eyes are closed. Most of the time you want to take the contacts out anyways, but I got out of the shower and the contacts were way up behind, almost behind my eye. They can't fall behind your eye, but they're way up here. And it took me a second. I had to put saline solution in and kind of coax them back down. So just know that water is not the same as saline. It's a lot harder and it will stick and make the lens kind of like, you know, that feeling you feel like sometimes if you just wash your hands with water and it feels kind of squeaky, it dehydrates. So anyways, yes, I'm going to get all this crap out of my lungs. I don't know what's going on. I did have someone say cider vinegar and patchouli couple of drops, and this, if you're having trouble breathing, use peppermint oil. A couple of drops in some hot water, steam your face and breathe it in with a towel over your head. Really helps to loosen everything up, especially if you're not in the mood for another shower. Yes, when it's really bad out, I will take showers constantly. I do recommend that if you have like an environment where there's a lot of particles in the air, shower, 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 get it out of your hair. The hair is a huge allergen producer. All the allergens stick to it and everything, so get it out of your hair. But overall, if you, ta-da! I just realized I don't have my twinkly lights on, but I have to run some errands, so I'm gonna go. It was fun chatting. Sorry it was all over the place. I'm not scripting. I'm just kind of going off of like my brain power only, which has been weird because, you know, this whole environment around us is, you know, in upheaval because we're like, oh my God, it feels like we got hit by a hurricane. We didn't. So my brain is still readjusting to all that. Anyways, love you guys. Bye. And talk to you later.